The test is in 4 parts: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between two students who have just started college. The two students are making plans for the evening. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 3.
Hi Lydia, how was your French class?
I enjoyed it. Françoise, the teacher, she's really nice and friendly. What about you? You're in the exam class, aren't you?
Yes, it was good. There's a lot of work, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. Anyway, we were going to meet up later, weren't we? To see what the city centre's like. Do you still want to go?
Definitely, yes. Some of the people in my class went out last night and had a great time. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
I'm not that bothered, really. We could walk around for a while, do some window shopping, see some local sights. I wouldn't mind seeing a film later in the evening if you'd like to. My host family are cooking, so I don't think I'll be hungry for a meal or anything like that. I don't really want to stay out too late. No clubs or anything. What about you?
Let's just see how we feel when we get there, shall we? My teacher told me it's late night shopping, so there should be lots to do. Shall I meet you after school?
Before you hear more of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 4 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 4 to 10.
Well, I need to go back to my host family first. As I said, they're cooking me a meal and it'll be a chance to meet all their family. Shall I come to your house when I've finished? You're with the host family as well, aren't you?
Yes, I haven't memorised the address yet. Wait a minute. Where's that card they gave me earlier? Here it is. Have you got a pen?
Hang on. Right. Yes, what is it?
OK, it's Mr. and Mrs. Andrews. You don't need that, do you? Here we are. The address. It's 60 Mayweather Road. It's in Coldfields, not far from the city centre, actually. My house is on the 14 bus route. It's easy to find. It's just across the road from the police station. If you get lost, here's the telephone number. 01764 388 64. Shall we say about 6?
OK, that'll give me time to get ready.
I'd like to find somewhere that sells paper and pens if possible.
I'm sure you'll find somewhere. I'm hoping there's a bookshop. The teacher has recommended a good grammar practice book for the course.
If we've got time, I could use this voucher the school gave us for a free coffee in the library cafe.
Oh yes, I've got one of them too. Good idea.
That is the end of Part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to Part 2.
Part 2.
You will hear 3 students discussing a language project.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
So, we need to get this field trip sorted out as soon as possible, don't we?
Yes, let's get started. James, have you worked out which 2 countries we should travel to?
Well, I thought we could go to the USA and Mexico because that's where the populations of most native languages are concentrated. But then I found out that the 3 languages we're most interested in are more widely spoken in Canada than Mexico, so I think we should go there instead.
OK. Anna, weren't you going to think about our research focus?
Yes, and I think I found 2 areas that would work well. Firstly, use of the 3 languages, Nardini, Salishan and Algic among the younger generation, people up to the age of 25. I found out that although there are many older speakers of Algic, it's used much less by the young. In fact, young people under the age of 25 use both Nardini and Salishan more than Algic.
That's interesting. That means that native language use isn't really being affected by the older generations anymore.
So what's the other focus area then, Anna?
Well, it would be good to try to find out what affects changes in native language speaker populations.
You mean things like family life and the influence of popular culture or tourism?
Yes, areas like that, but not tourism or culture because they're too general. I think we should look at whether family has an impact in terms of passing on native language use, and possibly the effects of government language policy too.
Government figures can be deceptive, but they're still worth looking at. Maybe we should also focus on something like job creation and work statistics and the number of people who leave the USA to live in another country instead.
Yes. I think emigration would be as useful as language policy.
OK then, let's focus on those 3 as well as what happens in families.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
Well, shall we look at our route now? Most of the speakers we're looking for are in California, so we could start there. We can spend 2 weeks travelling around and meeting people to get some background information, and then start collecting data.
What do you think about beginning in the southwest corner of the state and visiting the Barona Reservation?
That's a good idea. We'll be able to get some interviews with native language speakers there. And then we could go to the Eastern Mountains to visit the local education authority of North County. They've got a native language project for school children.
Why there? Wouldn't it be better to go to the education department in San Diego? It's bigger.
But they focus more on Spanish and English bilingualism and less on native languages.
In that case, the North County Education Authority will be more valuable, so let's do that. After that, we could head southeast to the town of Bishop. There's a company there called Cotec, which employs only bilingual speakers. I've emailed the managing director, who's happy to give us an interview.
Oh, that's great work, James. It sounds like something we should definitely do.
Right. Well, I'll email her to confirm.
Also, we should go to Sun City. It's this bilingual town in the south-central area of the region. They have a policy whereby all signs in the town must be in the local language as well as English. We can take photos of these signs.
They'll make good visuals for our report.
But won't that be intrusive for the people who live there?
No, they're used to it. The village is used as a model for other communities who'd like to do the same thing.
In that case, let's add it to the itinerary.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
Part 3. Tutor answering students' questions about using the college intranet. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, everyone. I know you have lots of questions about the college intranet. My inbox is full of messages. I thought it would be quicker and more useful to come in and talk to you rather than respond to all the messages. I'm happy to answer, or try and answer, any questions you have about how to use it when we'll be making things available online. I'm the ICT champion for the department, so hopefully I'll be able to help. Yes, Mark, fire away.
Can you tell us when the assignments are going to be put online?
If you're talking about your second assignment, that should be on already. I uploaded it last Monday. Wait a minute, let me check the schedule. Here we are. No, tell a lie. It was the following day, the 14th. Tuesday, the 14th of October. Have you logged into the intranet yet?
No. If the assignment's there, I'll download it after we've finished. Are you putting all the assignments up?
Yes, I've been waiting for your subject tutors to email them to me. As soon as I have them all, I'll put them online. There's a deadline of the 24th of November. All course assignments need to be online by then. That's college policy for all staff, so they'll be there then for sure.
Will there be anything else? Timetables, trip information, that kind of thing? Only there wasn't much online for our course last term.
I know, but we're making more of an effort this time. We'll be releasing your marks for the first assignment soon. That'll be the 17th of November. You'll find them in your My Grades area. Again, the timetables are already there, Mark. You need to log in. I made these available at the beginning of term in September. According to the schedule here, the booking forms, for those who want to go on the Belgium trip, will be available next week on the 29th of October. So don't forget to check then. You need to get these back to us quickly if you want to go. The trip's coming up soon, isn't it? Let's see. Yes, the 19th of November. Now remember, there are lots of learning materials on the intranet as well. Quizzes, web links.
Before you hear more of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Sir, wouldn't it be easier if we were just given the documents, so we don't have to go online to get them?
I know it seems a little frustrating, Claire, but we're doing it this way for a good reason. We're trying to cut down drastically on the amount of paper we get through. I'm afraid that students are always losing documents we give out in class. So we've decided to stop doing this. You have a limited printing allowance, which means you'll probably be more careful with any documents you have to print off. Besides, it means you'll always know where the information is when you need it. If you're at home and you forget an important date or need a document urgently, you can always log into the intranet and get it.
You said something about quizzes, sir.
Yes, we've had permission from the exam board to put some of their past papers online in an interactive form. That means you'll be able to get answers immediately with some feedback. They'll make a nice change from using the paper copies. Most of them are already online, and I'll be putting the rest on over the next couple of weeks. As I said, these are authentic past papers, so you'll get a really clear idea of your progress. Just to let you know, the technology tracks your scores, so your tutors will be able to tell who's having problems and what areas of the syllabus you might need help with. So it's definitely worth spending some time doing them.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
Part 4.
You are going to hear a lecturer giving a talk on time management strategies. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 37. Now listen and answer questions 31 to 37.
Hi everyone. Today Mark has come in to talk to you about time management strategies. If you remember, in the introductory session, I told you the difference it can make to your studies, so this is an incredibly important session. Thanks, Mark.
Hello. Yes, I'm Mark. I lecture over in the business school, but I have a bit of a reputation for being rather evangelical about time management, and I'm often invited into other courses to talk about it. So, here I am. You've now come to the end of your first week at university, and you've probably noticed how different it is from school or college. For some people, this step up comes very naturally, but in our experience, many students find this new regime a challenge. People aren't watching over you anywhere near as much, and you're expected to be far more responsible for your own learning. Research I've carried out shows that 65% of male students have poor time management skills. It's not quite so high for females, but still, a majority of 55% would benefit from developing these skills. Students who don't will see their grades and general progress suffer as deadlines are missed or work gets rushed, with a decline in the quality of work as a result. In a nutshell, you need to be aware of the big picture, to know what's coming down the line at any given time and what needs prioritizing. Start by creating that big picture using our yearly academic planner, and don't hide it away in a drawer somewhere. Give it pride of place somewhere, like on the bedroom wall, so you'll have daily reminders of what's approaching. During this first week, you'll have been given seminar and lecture times, essay deadlines, exam dates, and so on. Add these dates to your planner and add any new deadlines, such as seminar presentations or tutorial dates, as you get them. Those important non-academic occasions shouldn't be ignored either. Trips back home for family celebrations need to be factored in. Looking at your planner, the first thing that will strike you is how much time you have on your hands. Just a few seminars here and there, a couple of lectures on Tuesday and Thursday. Easy, you think. But this is very misleading indeed. Your planner only looks empty because it doesn't show all that essential self-study you'll need to do. And, as there's no one else structuring this time for you, you'll need to manage this yourself. You don't want to waste those hours between lectures or seminars in the cafe. Use this time to read through your lecture notes, prepare for the next seminar, or do some research for that next assignment. Essentially, structure your days on a 9-to-5 basis as if you were a full-time employee, and start to calculate how you're going to fill those gaps efficiently. Start by considering how you're going to meet all those deadlines. If there are any cooks among you, you'll know that putting a nice meal on the table requires more than just, well, cooking. You need to research the ingredients, buy them, chop, slice, mix, and so on. Cooking itself is a long way into the process. It's the same with that essay you have to write, or that presentation you might have to make. They need careful planning beforehand, and that time needs to be built into your preparation. Start prioritizing what needs doing and when. Download our monthly and weekly planners to help you map it all out.
Before you hear the rest of the lecture, you have some time to look at questions 38 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 38 to 40.
And here's an important point. When you're planning what to do, be task-oriented rather than time-oriented, and set achievable goals. Finding images for a presentation, for example, is measurable. Simply writing research 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. isn't. This task-oriented approach will be immensely helpful, forcing you to break your preparation down into individual, achievable steps. Try to assess when busy periods are likely to occur, such as the week leading up to an assignment deadline. Are there any evenings during the week you could put aside for extra work? And, just as importantly, make a note of any times you won't want to be working. You'll need time for you. Sessions in the gym, evenings when your favorite programs are on TV. Don't forget to schedule in time for non-academic activities like going shopping or doing the laundry. It's best to have a fixed time each week for jobs like these, so they don't interfere with your academic work. Finally, decide where you're going to do your self-study. Will you be distracted by the TV, the internet, or friends if you stay in your room? Perhaps the library will be a better place. Anywhere that encourages you to prevaricate should be avoided at all costs. Starting with the big picture and then working towards individual goals will leave you feeling in control, rather than being pulled here and there, firefighting as the next deadline looms.
That is the end of part 4.